Hi everybody, I'm Adriana from Sweet Sister Love, and I have had such a full summer. I'm excited. I feel alive again. I feel the many echoes of my past, like wishes that I made for myself in the past, even years ago, now finding their way into my life again. And it's special. It feels wonderful to not be forgotten, to not forget myself. I have not forgotten myself. And the last decade or so have been challenging. It's been a process of like do over, do over, do over. And that energy can be really exhausting. And it took a toll on me emotionally. I thought that all the tools I had, I'm an intelligent woman, I'm a beautiful woman, I'm a kind person, I have a willingness and a sort of like enthusiasm for life and for people and for things, and none of that was able to hold me in a stable place. I like really spiraled downward the last couple of years, and the last 2 years, thank God, a little more than 2 years, have been sort of like a snap out of it. Wake up! You have to take care of yourself. You have to, have responsibility and integrity for your own life. And I'm just very grateful that I'm doing it, because a lot of people, maybe stay in that longer than what I did, maybe never come out of it. And I'm really grateful that I'm not a miserable piece of shit anymore. Although some of my piece of shitness does shine through sometimes. And I have to remind myself that I'm human, having a really chaotic experience, and that do-overs are blessings. And yeah, so let me tell you about my weekend. I decided to start teaching yoga again after I kind of like walked away and said, I will not, I do not, I cannot, this is hypocrisy. And I said all these terrible things. And that has really been the source of my downward spiral, by the way, saying a lot of really terrible things and then turning away from those things, cutting myself off from those things, and feeling like a self-righteous purist as I was doing it. But it's okay, you gotta live and learn. And my grandma used to say, probando es que se guisa. Like, you gotta, when you're making a stew, you gotta like taste it along the way, and that's how it's made. And that's how life is, we gotta be in it. It's a lived experience. It's not something that you can carry in theory. You could read all the books in the world, but unless you practice and find your way, which is very unique to each of us, but find our way in that practice, you just have these great ideas that you regurgitate, but they don't mean anything, and they're not honest, and they're not real. And once you come out of a very heavy, challenging hardship, even if it's just a self-imposed emotion or whatever you want to call it, once you come out of it and you see the light a little bit, you don't want to go back. Like, I don't want to go back to where I was. I really want to take care of myself in such a way that I don't go backwards. And this weekend, the last couple of weekends, all summer has been just so amazing. Not free of challenge, but certainly very, very full of experiences for me to learn from, for me to grow from, and to become a better version of myself. And I went to yoga this morning. I went to yoga this morning. So I started teaching again. I picked up a couple of public classes, which I'm now building. My morning class didn't have any signups, so I didn't show up for that. I have an arrangement with the space owner that if no one is registered by midnight the night before, by 8 a.m. when I would normally leave, he'll let me know no one is registered, and I save my energy by not traveling there, which I think is a really good arrangement for me right now. Next week I'm showing up regardless because I want to be there and I want to make some content in the space, and we play pickleball in the space, so I really want to get into playing pickleball because it's important to me to be active again and to live a very active life. And so learning how to play pickleball could be fun. So I'm going to invite some friends to come to class and then do some pickleball with me. To my surprise, I had a very nice number in my second class, and I made a very nice amount of money, which was needed and appreciated. And I'm saying this because it's nice to be surprised. My private student reached out and I raised the price, and it was not even a thought, like, sure, no problem, raise the price. And I raised the price, and so now I practice with her twice a week like we used to. And it is bringing me back to a version of myself that I aspired for, that I let go of. Yes, I wanted to do so many things with my body, put my leg places, stand on my hands, and do these cool shapes. But I wanted to feel God's presence. I wanted to be able to open up a clear channel and a communication with the Creator and be able to share that with others. And I do want to make money. To say that I don't want to make money, that those things that we do, because that's one of the things I criticize a lot, is that the gifts that God gives us should be given freely. And in a world where money means so much to us, like without money you can't really do that much. I'm faced with the reality that no, you're talented at these things and you should charge for these things, because actually you need to charge for these things, otherwise you won't be able to do it. And if you want to do things in service, well, you can also do those things, but you cannot neglect the truth, and that's that you have to pay rent every month and you have a car note, sweetheart. So these are things that, like, your delusion, my delusion, and my self-righteousness, and a little bit of the wickedness that comes through anger and resentment, while I was sort of contending with all of that, I was also contending with the truth that I need money to pay bills. And so these two very opposite, very combative parts of me within myself needed to come together and, like, figure it out. And so the minute that I decided, I want to live a sober life. I don't want to be under the influence of things, and that includes plant medicine, and that includes gossip. I am under the influence of gossip a lot. And sometimes I can dramatize a tiny thing, and it becomes a conversation in my world for a long time. And it's becoming really difficult to break that. And so I really want to tap about gossip today, because we are too enamored with talking shit. We are too enamored with the sensation, that angst when you're pissed off and you're talking about the same thing that pisses you off over and over again. We're addicted to that. I was addicted to that, and I think that I become friends and keep company with people who are also good at that. And sometimes you need a friend who is like, I'm not gonna listen. Like, I'm gonna be rude to you. I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna change the subject. My mom does that to me a lot. I don't even know how that happened. I accidentally kicked the stand. Maybe because I shouldn't talk about my mom. Anyway, my mom will do that to me a lot, where she'll change the subject and like not even like explain herself. She'll just like leave me mid-sentence, and I'll continue, and she'll just be like, yeah, this blouse, I got it, maybe it fits you, do you want to try it on? And she'll just like keep the conversation moving in a totally opposite, different direction. And it's hard for me to catch the drift on what a gift that is. I am constantly offended because she doesn't want to listen to me and she doesn't understand me. But I think that her Virgo nature is just like, you know, let me control the situation for you. Let me give you what you need, because you don't even know what you need. And what you need is a change of topic. So God bless her. I love her. She brings me so much goodness, you know. And I am sometimes not in receiving mode because of the way it's delivered, because of the way that I feel, because of etc., etc., etc. And it's something that I realize I need to correct, because it's something that is showing up in various places of my life. I have countless friendships. I cannot even tell you how many friendships come together and then pull apart. And we love each other. And if I saw them on the street, I would say hello and give them a big hug, because the love is real, but the intention is not real. You know, for whatever reason, we don't click anymore. The vibe is off, you could say. They probably talk shit about me and I talk shit about them, but it isn't hate, it isn't animosity. It's just this very strange sort of like coming together and pulling apart, and coming together and pulling apart. And that coming together and pulling apart is exhausting. It's to me, I think, is a tether that keeps you sort of like in the same bubble, but it's an empty bubble. Like, we're not feeding each other, but we're still connected. And, you know, I don't want to create those kinds of friendships anymore. I understand that we will always have relationships that are necessary in a way, because that's the way the world moves. Like, you need to be able to have relationships with the people you work with. You need to have relationships with people outside of your family, because it gives you perspective. It's a lesson. It's a day out. It's something fun to do. Go to a museum with a friend. Yeah, let's go to a museum with a friend. I'm feeling like less and less of that. I have spent this summer in a lot of ceremonies, like cacao ceremony and ritual, like going to the beach and offering flowers and watermelon, and going to the lake and to the river, and taking in the sun and feeling, you know, nature, the beauty and the peace of nature. So I've been in ceremony in my life, and I believe that a ceremony with yourself is so important. And I'm just finding that I'm the hypocrite. That's what I'm finding, that I am the hypocrite. I continuously show up to these things that I'm really not in that much alignment with. And in the several cacao ceremonies that I've been to, like I went to one in the city, which was like cacao and ecstatic dance. And I could tell you that I felt completely out of place. I felt that the people there were acting strange, crawling around the floor and growling and, you know, dancing with each other in these like wild, chaotic ways, which I get it. It's like a somatic release, like to each their own, but it's not my thing. But I continue to go to cacao ceremonies because I believe that this is the way to commune with the ancestors, and it's not. Clearly for me, it is not. I am communing, but perhaps not in the way that best serves me. And so I'm taking the summer to sort of like be in my research. Like, if I come to your circle and it doesn't hit, I want to feel safe in my own conviction and my own decision making to be like, thanks for the invitation, but I'm not coming to the circle. Like, thank you, but no thank you. And I'm also realizing the importance of having circle time with my people, with my own mother, who is really trying to lead me in the right direction, and who's trying to say, hey, you know, you're wonderful, you're great, I love you, you're beautiful, all the things, but there's something about your behavior that just isn't gonna cut it anymore. And there are some things showing up at work, and I believe that I'm right about them, and I am right. My feelings are valid, but the way that I have reacted, the way that I have spoken, the way that I have perhaps behaved is not valid. I have still taken on a responsibility at this place of work, and I have to follow through with the way the place of work directs me. And if I don't like that, I should work for myself, because everywhere that I go, I'm going to have a boss. And unless you're working for someone that you're really aligned with, unless you're doing work that you feel is really valuable and meaningful, there's always going to be this sort of conflict. And so, yeah, I don't know how much this resonates and how you feel about it, but I felt like it was a good topic to come on to YouTube, because we are students of starting over. I am a student of starting over, and I renamed this channel Students of Starting Over, which is just like my chair yoga experience class, because it's time for us to come back to ourselves. It's time for us to face ourselves exactly where we left off. That person that you left, like for me, for example, I was telling you how I spiraled, and I did a lot of things that harmed myself. And so now that I'm coming back to myself, I have to come back to that version of myself right before I spiraled. And I have to look at everything that I didn't like about my life then and face it now. Because it isn't going to go away because of any external influence. It's only going to change, evolve, go away, heal, transform based on the choices that I make for me. And if I continue to make the same choices, there isn't a ceremony or a cup of roots or or a cup of medicine or a spoonful of anything that will shift for me, because I'm still stuck in a pattern. And unless I'm willing to see the pattern, I can't change it. And I gotta be honest, I don't see the pattern sometimes, which clearly is not true. I do see the pattern because we're talking about it. But it's hard to correct it when it needs to be corrected, which is in the moment. It's hard to sometimes acknowledge that I keep choosing the wrong thing for myself. And it can be easier to point a finger or to be like, oh, that ceremony, that circle, that ecstatic dance experience, that person, that thing is just not the vibe. Maybe you aren't. I am not the vibe. We are not the vibe right now, because there is work to be done, internal work. It's not like sitting and doing something. It's an internal knowing, and it's a practice that you pick up every day. You know, there are choices that you make, like when you choose to not go to sleep on time, and so you wake up late and you show up to work late, and then you get written up because you're late all the time. Like, there's a behavior. We could say whatever we want about the place that we work, but there's a behavior there that got you. You got by your own behavior. Like, the write-up is valid because you're late every day. I'm not late every day. I'm just not willing to share what's actually happening at work on YouTube. But it's just an example of my responsibility, and how, as a healer, as someone who's willing to grow and to teach others and to share wisdom and knowledge, because there is wisdom in our mistakes, with people who are willing to listen, so that we can start to come together. And instead of coming together to gossip and talk shit about how terrible things are, we come together to talk about how terrible it's been to feel this way and to live this way for as long as we have. And to say, okay, well, we're willing to make choices, everyday choices that lead to a different outcome. And this is why I'm teaching again, because I'm willing to go back to that version of myself that honors sobriety and honesty and that lives by the lessons that every good book has taught me. And every wise teacher has exemplified for me, which is, living clean, living honest, living sober, living in service, but also living responsibly and working so that you can take care of the things of the material world, because that is the plane we're currently on. I mean, if I was a fairy, and maybe I'm a fairy in another dimension, but in this dimension, I'm a woman who needs to handle her business. So let's just tap about it, okay? There's no right or wrong. We're just gonna learn a practice and let it take us someplace. And remember that tapping is designed to help you feel what you can't feel, to help you feel what you push away. And so you will feel a lot. And if you start to feel a lot and it feels like you can't hold it, feel free to just soothe yourself and to come back to this later. Feel free to get help through the process so that it's not as difficult. I'm not a master at tapping, but it's one of my personal practices that has brought me to this awareness. And so I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it in all the ways. I want to do it on camera. I want to do it in my private life. I want to do it in the classes that I teach. I want to do it with people that I meet. I want to do it while I'm at work, because I don't want to revert back to the old person that I was. I don't want to fall into that downward spiral again. I want to be able to face a challenge and know that that challenge is a portal. It is designed to take me somewhere. Yesterday, I came up with this beautiful mantra for myself, which is that fear is the portal to courage. And so I'm not trying to get rid of my fear. I am not pushing my fear aside, and I'm not delusional to think that I can be fearless. I know that I carry fear within me, and I also am realizing and I'm allowing myself for this truth to come through and to continue to invite me to its embodiment, that my fear is a portal to courage. And so I honor my fear, and I look at my fear, and I face my fear, and I live with my fear. I habitate with it, I engage with it, and I tease it out. And I know that in the process of that, I become courageous. Because the only way that I can do those things is to actually move through it. And so the invitation today is to move through the fear of anything, of losing a job, of losing a friend, of becoming your own source of comfort and wisdom, and just you being your own tool. I am my best instrument. I am my most powerful instrument. I am my own bitter and sweet medicine. I open myself up to those nudges in a conversation that invite me to change the subject. I'm grateful to my mom, who knows how to change the subject directly, not carefully, but intensely change the subject. Hard left. Okay, you're talking about this again? Hard left. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And for some people, Like, I could stay in this conversation about, like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. I don't want to, da, 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 da. I'm not going to visit you. And I forced myself to go see my mom. I mean, it's not a difficult sacrifice. My mother is amazing. If you ever knew her, you would just be captivated by her because she's gorgeous. And she does everything good. You know, she's just like such a Virgo. She's tall and lean and embodies like her grace, and she's so organized, and like she does everything right. So there's a lot about that I wish I had, you know, and I'm so lucky because I do have a lot of that. How can I not have things? How can I not have my mom's stuff? You know what I mean? So I'm accepting the lesson in the redirect in the conversation. We're going to change the subject. We're going to do a hard left. And I'm allowing myself to do those hard lefts with people in my life. Like, if you need help with something as a friend, if you need me to listen, and then you want me to hold space for your evolution, I can do that. But I can only do that so many times. I cannot do that endless times where you are complaining about the same guy or the same issue or the same person or the same problem over and over again. And it's unfair to expect anyone to listen to your bullshit forever. I'm allowing myself to change friendships when they no longer support my evolution. Like, if my friendships are not like, hey, you need to stop that. Like, if we're gonna continue being friends, you need to stop that. And we need to be willing to grow. Otherwise, like, I can't. Like, if I say to a friend, hey, I'm working on my spiritual strength and hygiene, and I don't want to gossip anymore. Like, it's good, it's juicy, but like, if it has nothing to do with me, my money, my family, my growth, I really don't want to know. And if every time I gather with you, this is what we end up doing, I am going to allow myself to retreat from that relationship. And I will feel guilty. I'll feel so bad about it. But I know that that's something that I can move through and I can work on, because that's not who I want to be anymore. And I know that that took me down a very kind of like ugly path, ugly road. It didn't bring me any closer to my dreams coming true. And so I want the kind of friendships that bring me closer to my dreams coming true. And those kind of friendships, I'm not even sure that I know them. I'm not sure that I've ever had a friendship that brings me closer to my dreams. You know, anytime that I was with someone who brought me closer to my dreams, it took a lot of work. And sometimes it took a lot of money. Like, I had to make an actual investment. When I wrote my book, I cleaned up my desk, so it's not where it normally is. I normally have my book behind me. But when I wrote this book, and the original here, I had to pay a coach. I mean, I paid a coach, and I showed up to those coaching sessions like crazy. She wasn't even a writing coach. She was just like my personal coach, and she pushed me. She said, you gotta push this baby out. You are 10 centimeters dilated. You need to go. I need to see this. And she wasn't an editor. She didn't have anything to do with me writing the stories. And I had to pay for that. That did not come easy. I had to really schedule myself, and I had to throw myself at the work that she was giving me, and I had to agree and align myself with the lessons that she was sharing with me. And so I've never really had a friendship that can push me closer to my dreams. And that's the kind of friendship that I'm willing to have now, and that I am hungry for. I'm hungry for a friendship that pushes me closer to my dreams. Woo! And I allow myself to be open to the kinds of relationships that say, absolutely not. I will not be doing that with you. If you want to go off and get high, If you want to go off and spend $40 that actually should be going into your savings account, if you want to go do another stupid thing that actually takes time away from writing your next book, you go and you do that. But I am not going to do that with you because I'm your friend. And what I really want you to do is take your fucking ass home, clean up the laundry and wash the dishes, take a shower, brush your teeth, and sit down at your desk and record your damn YouTube and write your damn book and build your damn brand, because it's not going to build on itself. It is delusional to think that you can manifest with a wish or with some incense the thing that you want. And when you pull yourself away from your dream, like I am a writer and a wellness teacher, that's what I do. I share from this perspective of a lived experience. I know what it is to drag my ass through the mud. I know what it is to hold on tight to the horse and carriage that is dragging me face down through the mud. I know what that is. And I am choosing to let go. Very embarrassingly, walk myself in front of the whole town to my quarters to take a shower and try again and do it a little better and a little differently this time, because the way that you have been doing it, it doesn't work. And for me, it really, I write on Substack. It's called Single and Happy. And for me, it's about embracing this idea of being single and happy, because I'm not in a place where I can settle down with a man, because I am not happy with what I have come up with for myself so far. And to find a man or a love right now who would, one, resolve all my problems for me, or two, be a distraction to my real life's work, you know, I just can't have it. And so I'm choosing to create this world for myself where I'm a student of starting over, who's also single and happy, who's writing her next book and building herself up as a teacher in many places. That means I have to allow myself to be seen in my vulnerability, in my messy hair straight out of yoga, in my t-shirt, in my living room with the vacuum in the background. Like, I have to be willing to take a step forward until that step forward evolves and becomes cleaner, and the path that I'm forging becomes a walkable path for others to follow. We're walking in the woods right now. Like, there is no path. You can follow my footprint, yes, but the branches are gonna whack you and the bugs are gonna bite you, but here we go. And a lot of times you have to walk that path alone until you forge it. And then once it's forged, people can follow. People feel safe enough to say, okay, I can listen, I can do this. And so maybe one day I'll have some likes on the video. Maybe one day I'll have another book. Maybe one day I'll have 20 people in the Farmingdale class. And all of that will happen because I keep showing up and because I show up with integrity, which means no more sloppiness with the work that I know needs to be done. And a big part of that sloppiness is my attitude, is my gossiping, is my hypocrisy, is my jealousy, it's my looking over there and being like, oh, why them and not me? And this is ugly. And this is fear. And I've already decided that I'm gonna walk with my fear, because my fear is a portal to my courage. And so this video is a testament of courage. These classes I'm teaching are a testament to my courage. My sobriety is a testament to my courage. Showing up to work every day, even though it's really uncomfortable and I'm being asked to do things that I don't want to do, that go against my conviction, I'm going to show up as responsibly as I can at my job, because that's a portal to my courage. And I know that the portal to that courage is teaching me so much that I'm going to need, that I'm going to use, and that will be absolutely invaluable when I no longer have to go to that job and I'm working for myself. But everything is one foot in front of the other. It takes some steps. And I respect the process. I'm allowing myself to fall in love with the process of success. I'm allowing myself to love and respect and accept and forgive the process, because this really matters to me and this is really important to me. And I'm committed to my growth and my upward spiral. I don't want to drag myself through the mud anymore. And I really hope that this video has served you and helped you. If there is more interest, please visit sweetsister.love. Please visit Single and Happy. Please like, follow, subscribe, and share this if it means a lot to you, even if it means a little bit to you. I appreciate your support, and I will be back with more, and I hope that you will be too. Thank you so much.